Oh, lads, it's starting again. It's starting again. The whole, like, do you know the group on social media that, like, win by dunking on trying to dunk on the WNBA and being like, this is why you don't deserve any more money, when in reality, so many companies worldwide lose 100 times more than the WNBA and still pay a lot better than the WNBA do? Like, the players are giving them ammo. They're giving these idiots ammo, and it's really, really frustrating. Arike Ogunbowale, who is one of the best players in this league, and by the way, if you want to talk about exciting guard play and a player that would really benefit, like if they, like, and I'm not even talking about changing the rules of basketball, if they literally told refs to be a little bit more, like, less lenient with cheap shots, less lenient with hard fouls. Okay, any contact around the head has to be reviewed. Any contact, just like in the NBA, any contact around the head and contact to the head is a flagrant one no matter what. Like, these are really, like, simple rules that they can bring in. And this is not removing the physicality from the game. It's removing the dirty play from the game. And all they have to do is just change some stuff like that. Change a lot of, like, the Bill Laimbeer type fouls, the Pistons type fouls. And I think there's a difference between physicality and, like, violence. And that's what these WNBA players don't get is Arike Ogunbowale has come out and said, she has come out and basically said that players get fouled. No one talks about the men when they get fouled. I mean, yeah, they do. When someone cheap shots somebody, when Draymond cheap shots somebody, everybody talks about it. Let's be real. Everybody talks about it. So, first of all, like, she doesn't really get what people are complaining about. And she ends it with, it's gonna be physical, so if you don't want to watch this, go watch golf. No. All I'm seeing everywhere on social media is that last line. If you don't want to watch this, go watch golf. And people are like, maybe now we will. Maybe now we will. And that's, I actually genuinely don't think that the people that are watching the WNBA are going to be affected by this phrase, by the way. I think people that enjoy it are going to enjoy it. People that don't. I think the viewership numbers are going to drop drastically. I think this is a mania. Because I don't think the product is good enough. I actually don't think the product's good enough. Like, some people stay, like, I'm going to keep watching it. I'm going to keep watching it because I just like the sport of basketball. I don't really care how it's played. Again, as I've said, like, I watch the Irish National League. I'll watch Irish National League games. I'll go down on a Saturday night last year to a Tulka Rovers game and watch Elijah Fapito shoot left-handed hook shots and watch Danny Ade go and hit a game winner over Waterford. I'll go and watch that. That is my enjoyment of basketball. So I'll watch any level. I'll keep watching the WNBA. But the casual fan is going to go, and this is not helping. This is not helping because the whole reputation from the outside looking in at WNBA players is the only time people ever talked about WNBA players in the past was not because of their greatness as basketball players. More people would know. Like, more people know, like, Sue Bird and more people know Dan Taurasi. More people know Breanna Stewart for the clip when she was telling Tracy McGrady when he was talking about how he thought the league might be more interesting, and she just shot him down. I was like, no. More people know Kelsey Plum. In fairness, she was, like, obviously married to the NFL player, so people know now. But at the time, more people knew Kelsey Plum for the money argument on the podcast than anything. The only reason so many people know Brittany Griner is because she got stuck in Russia. Like, WNBA players had not a lot of the time been seen by the general public for their basketball. Like, again, people as much as anything know Brittany Griner for saying she could beat DeMarcus Cousins one-on-one. Prime boogie, by the way. And these quotes are giving ammo to the idiot. Click the Barstool Sports, the Outkicks, who are just going to take the last line. At the end of the day, these WNBA players are saying they want physicality. Whereas the fans aren't actually complaining about the physicality a lot of the time. There's the idiots that are just complaining about any sort of physicality. But this is how you know fans aren't complaining about physicality and fans are complaining about dirty plays. Nobody, and I mean nobody, complained about the New York Liberty against the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark got held to 3 points, and Lainey Hamilton probably was the most physical defender Caitlin Clark has faced. Not dirty in any way, just she got beaten up against the Liberty legally. A physical game, she just could not compete with them physically. But they went out to hurt her against Chicago, and they went out to hurt her against Seattle. They just did. No one really complained about the Connecticut Sun because that's physical basketball. There is a line, and a lot of these WNBA teams cross the line. Just like when, or I can't remember who it was, like 3 times in a row, smacked in the face AJ Wilson, the referees. People are complaining about the referees more than they're complaining about how the players are playing. People are saying the referees can't let this go. But it's clearly the league want the league like that. But still, you've got a WNBA player who has now, it doesn't even matter the whole context of the quote now. That line, if you don't want to watch golf. For a sport that has doubled its viewers this year, is not a good sign. I literally look on YouTube, and because of the content I post, I get notifications on my front page for the idiots that don't give a damn about sports. I actually don't think they're the people. I don't think I actually I've watched a single Fever game, but they will listen to sound bites. They will take clips out of context. They'll take quotes out of context, and they are basically team. We hate Angel Reese because we hate Angel Reese for no reason. We hate Kennedy Carter because we hate Kennedy Carter, everything she does. We hate the Sky. The Sky are their new LSU. They're gonna hate on them. And now seeing them post stuff about Arike Ogunbowale, who is maybe the most exciting player to watch in this league. And that includes Caitlin Clark. She's probably the most exciting player. Like, she's shifty. She's there crossing people up, shooting step back threes. And instead of watching Arike Ogunbowale, she is going to be most remembered for this quote, which is so annoying. It's so annoying. And it's like, I get it, being frustrated. But there has to be some sort of planning. There has to be some sort of like league-wide memo. Do not tell people to stop watching. Because it's a league where it's make or break. This season is make or break. It really is. I think eventually, when Paige comes in, I think they are going to change something. If the viewership starts to drop, which I think it will, they're going to change something. But genuinely, it's like, the WNBA have spent so many years trying to get more people to watch, and now more people are watching, and they're not enjoying the product because, unfortunately, and these are people that will watch college basketball, and for people being like, oh, people only watch college basketball because of Caitlin Clark's run and giving whatever excuses they want to give for that. Why did so many people watch Juju play UConn? Was Nika Mule hyped for her day? Why was there so much hype for Nika Mule's debut? Why is there so much hype? Going to be so much hype for Paige Beckers? Why are they already advertising when UConn are playing USC in December? They're already making a big deal for that. Because the product is good. Women's basketball is fine as a sport. There's a difference. Women's basketball is actually a good spectator sport. I don't really care. Just like in tennis, like the level, the best female tennis players would be about the 600 ranked male tennis players. But you know what? A Serena Venus game, outside of Federer Nadal or Federer Djokovic, outside of that big four, a Serena Venus game would be a bigger game. When Serena and Venus are playing the Wimbledon final, I think they played in the Wimbledon final the same year as it was Federer and Roddick. The Serena Venus game is going to be more hyped than the Federer Roddick game, and Roddick's was a pretty big player at the time. Like, that is the thing, is like, when you can put an enjoyable product out, people are going to watch, just like the NCAA women's college basketball, and just like it's going to be next year with them, because the sport is interesting. At the end of the day, there's going to be people on either side that hate it. But there is nobody that's going to watch Arike Ogunbowale play basketball the way she can, especially in a league where they're not allowed to just beat the crap out of her, where it becomes harder to guard her because she's more of a threat off the dribble. She's more of a threat going to the basket, and she's able to pull back. They have to give a bit more space because she can burn them. Like, more people will watch that. More people will watch games that are more interesting. Like, I watched the Sky against the Mystics last night, and it was the worst game of basketball I've ever seen. Like, the Sky, like, Angel Reese had a double-double, mostly off her own misses. Like, she's an unbelievable defender, unbelievable rebounder, but, like, we watched Angel Reese shoot the ball 22 times. She shot the ball 22 times. She can't make layups. And, like, we're watching the other end, the Mystics just throw the ball to the other team. Because the players are scared. Guards are scared to play basketball. And it is the truth. Like, Kennedy Carter was the only player on the floor that was any way interesting to watch as a player, because she was able to go head down and was just too fast. You're looking at players that would be there's so many players that would be so interesting to watch. And people have always said, oh, if people do watch the WNBA, they'll really enjoy it. The problem is that people aren't. People aren't. And like, I've watched plenty of WNBA over the years. Not an avid viewer, but I'd watch probably an average of 10 games a year. And like, I've liked it. I thought the standard of basketball was good. But at the same time, like, I'm watching almost every game every night. And I'm not just watching the highlights. I'm seeing all the just ridiculous stuff that's allowed. And it's like, these players are so much better than the players in college, but somehow the game is worse. It just is. You can't tell me that even the Sky and the Fever was a better basketball game to watch than than Iowa versus LSU. Either of them. When either of them won. You can't tell me that there's been any WNBA games that have been better to watch from a spectator if you put in someone who didn't know anything about the game or didn't know anything about any of these players, was put in a time capsule 5 years ago, and you sat them down to watch a WNBA game or UConn versus Iowa. 10 out of 10 would say UConn versus Iowa was a better game. Regardless of the level of the players, regardless of, oh, this is the best pro league, it's going to be physical, it's going to be all that. Like, it actually genuinely seems like the WNBA players don't actually want viewership. But maybe they want viewership, but only on their terms. Not because a lot of people are really enjoying women's college basketball and want to see these players as they progress in their career. They want people to want to watch for Breanna Steward, for Aja Wilson. When in reality, I think players will stay, but there's a reason why they never really brought the viewership in the first place. Because they're exceptional players. They were exceptional players, but there was just something about these rookies and the way they played. And it's not even that the rookies suck, or like, all rookies are going to struggle. They are getting, like, they're not even given the opportunity to succeed. They're not even being given an opportunity to succeed, because any chance they get is being beaten out of them. And you're looking at guards. Guard play in this league is non-existent. And then you've got WNBA players falling into the trap. Like, the media are asking these players questions so that they can get that last line. The media are asking these players questions so that they say something along the lines of, stop watching. Because if they say stop watching, there's 100 articles, 100 people with malicious intent with these articles who actually get more clicks dunking on the WNBA than they do talking about the sport. And it is extremely frustrating. It's extremely frustrating that player after player keeps falling for it. The only player that I've seen not fall for the media, what they were saying, was Caitlin Clark. People on Twitter, oh, she's saying a whole load of nothing. She's not addressing anything. Of course she's not addressing anything, because no matter what she says, it'll cause 100 different news articles by effectively saying, can we just talk about the basketball? That's all I'm paid to do. I'm off social media. I'm just playing basketball. That's all she says. And that's the way it should be. Like, these WNBA players don't need to have a chip on their shoulder. They just need to play the sport of basketball. If people on social media are complaining about the physicality, a better response, instead of saying don't watch, is literally, instead of all this bravado being like, no, this is all physical, just being like, well, my job is to get the win regardless of how the refs call the game. My job's to get the win. If they allow the play to be physical, I'm going to be physical. If they start calling fouls, I'm going to play the ref's whistle. Takes all the blame off the WNBA players, puts all the spotlight on the terrible refereeing, and also you're not being talked about because you've ended a big long sentence or a big long point with stop watching. It's frustrating. It's frustrating that they fall into the same trap, these players are falling into the same trap over and over again. And it is allowing these people that don't give a damn about the league, don't give a damn about the sport, don't give a damn about the growth of the women's game, ammo to dunk on it and say, see, this is why we never watched. You see, they all want the league to fail. And at the end of the day, I don't think they want the league to fail. I think they've just come up with a league that's a certain way, and they don't want to see new people come in and change it. And I think that is the case literally everywhere. In life, if something becomes way, way more popular, and all the new fans or the new people that are involved want everything to be changed to suit them, people are going to be really angry. I know it's not the exact same, but alright, I was going to give an example, but it would have caused absolute uproar, like a similar example on a much grander scale, but it would have caused crazy uproar, but I'm not going to do that. But I don't think they don't want the WNBA to succeed. I don't even think they don't want it to succeed on the terms of Caitlin Clark, but what they don't want is, these players very clearly don't want a whole new group of people coming in and saying, you know what, we want everything to change. Especially because it does look like everyone wants it to change for one person. When in reality, the players shouldn't be asked these questions. the commissioner is completely at fault. The commissioner should literally just be like, refs, you know what, call a few more flagrants. Call a few more flagrants, ref the games properly. This is getting a bit out of hand.